Hello everyone. This is the fourth video in the playlist about plotting with Python. We are plotting the meter data and we are actually taking a real world project and we are trying to understand something based on that. Now, in the last video, if you have not seen the last three videos, I strongly request you to have a look at them. In the last video, where we left off was that we are able to get the plots of 3 meters at a time. So this is meter number 12, and this is meter number 10, and this is meter number 7. Okay, so three figures we are able to plot, and two parameters we are plotting, that is the active power and apparent power. Now, what we want to do is let's look at this. So, you remember this meter number 7, meter number 12, and meter number 10 are the 3 meters. So, if I go back to the single line diagram of the particular campus, so it is like this. So, we are adding meter number 7, meter number 10, and meter number 12. So, in other words, I'm actually we're not adding, we are just getting the individual readings. We are actually getting the entire demand side. So now, if I am interested to get the entire demand curve for this particular campus grid, so the entire demand curve will be the addition of 7 meters of 7, 10, and 12. So, in fact, sometimes it will be more useful to get the knowledge of the combined meters rather than the individual meters. So in other words, this is called a virtual meter. Okay? So imagine that there is a virtual meter which is adding the data from all these 3 meters. Okay? So that is what is our objective to achieve. So let's try to do that in this particular video. Now there is a problem in this thing. So let me show you what the problem is. As far as plotting individual meters is concerned, we are able to do that. But let's see. Now I go to the code. Okay, so here I'm saying meters to plot 7, 10, and 12. Okay, now, and here is where I'm plotting. Okay, so now instead of the plotting, okay, so instead of this plotting, I'll just comment out the plotting part. And even this plot show also I don't want. See, for meter to plot, in meters to plot, I am filtering out the particular meter. Okay, so this you already know from the previous meters. Now I just want to print the meter to plot, that means which meter, the id, and I want to print the number of rows. Okay, so m data, that is the data of particular meter, dot shape. Okay, so shape means it will return a tuple of number of rows and columns. So now I will print this thing and see what will happen. Okay, so if I go down and then run it, we are not expecting any plots to come now. Okay, I think it's just a simple shape. Okay, so here you notice that meter number 7 has 1430 data points, whereas meter number 10 has 1438 data points, and meter number 12 has 1435 data points. So, in other words, there are different number of rows in each of these. Of course, the columns are same all, but this meter 7 sometimes gets less amount of data. Meter 10 sometimes get more amount of data, and so on. So because these three are three independent data sources, three independent sensors, or three independent energy meters, they have different data sources. Now let's see the missing, what how do we find the missing data. Okay. So for that, let's see what to do. See, because these are individual, what you call, these data are having independent, I mean different numbers. So 1430. That means we are expecting in a day 1440 records or 1440 data plots, but we only got 1430. So some in between, some records, 10 records are missing, whereas for the 10th, two records are missing, and for the 12th, five records are missing. So the data is not this thing. So let's change the let's see what are these. Let's identify what are these missings. In order to identify that, see, because it cannot display that following are missing, because it will only know what are available. What are not available will not be able to do, because in the raw data it is like that. So in order to do that, we have to do some slightly intelligent work. So let's do that. So what I want to do is use a function called date range. Okay, so this meters part I will remain. See, now the slowly the code will start becoming bigger. So we need to start maintaining different sections. Okay, so what was this? The first part, that is importing and all. So 3 and 4 is about reading the, and then okay, I think this also, this part I can bring it down. So basically here I will say parameters for the code. So in other words, instead of meter number 7, if I'm interested in some other meter, let's say meter number 8, for example, I can just change it here 8. And then if I once again run it, now instead of meter number 7 and 10, only meter 8. And here you see 1429 records are there. Okay, so, and meter 5. See, meter 5 is not even there. So let's see whether it will give an error or 0. So here you can see meter 5 has 0 records. Okay, so that is because this particular meter 5 is not even available in this particular file which I am there, raw data file. Anyway, we'll come to that how to do that later. So now come back to this thing. So now here I'll go to meter number 7 because I identified that meter 7 has 10 records missing. Now I want to find out which are those 10 records which are missing. So how do I find out that? Okay, so this part is basically reading the data, reading the raw data from CSV. Now here, see, I did not change any code, I just commented some lines. Now here, I will create a separate variable, TS. Okay, TS is my separate variable, that is basically timestamp. Now, PD, pandas, date range. So this is a function called date range in pandas. Okay. So here I have to give which date I am interested in. Okay. So right now I am interested in 8th. In fact, let's make it into a variable. So I'll go here in the parameters. I will add one more, date to plot. Control X. And here, so we can concatenate the strings like this. And then here, the date to plot I will give here. So this particular date to plot, I will once again give here. So a date range. Now it will start from the first, the start of this particular date. Now periods. Okay, so that is one more parameter I have to give. 1440 because a day will have 1440 minutes, and then there is another uh, parameter called frequency, and then you give t. So t means minute. Okay, so this is, now if you want to fully understand, you have to just see pandas date range. So you go to online and then say pandas date underscore range. Okay, so if you go for this pandas date range documentation, so start, end, periods, frequency, time zone, normalizing, all these things you will have the this thing, and there will be an example also. In fact, I myself learned from reading all these things, and then I'm teaching you directly the how to do it. Okay, so now here I'm getting date range, date to plot, 1440 periods, and this one. Now let's simply print TS and also print ts dot shape if shape works for it. Let's see. Now let's run this. So now we can see this is a date time index has come, and it starts from 8th October 2021 00 minutes, and goes to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, so on, and it goes up to 23:59 minutes, and it has a length of 1440, and it is confirmed. Whereas the length of the our data is only 1430. Okay. So we have data for only 1430 timestamps, whereas we need to fill the entire 1440 timestamps. So here is where resampling will come into picture. So little bit in order to do resampling, little bit of process is there. Let me now continue that. I hope you are following this. So now you understand what is this TS, right? So now this TS is, what is the TS? It is basically a data type of uh, date time index. Okay, so the date time index is, in other words, called time series in or series in pandas. It has to be converted into a data frame. So that is what I'm going to do now. So what I will do, I will say, so meter data. So this is my, or let's say, I think to make it clear, I'll say MDF, meter data frame. Okay. So because we are going for specific meter, not all meters, this data frame I want to now create. Okay. That is a variable name. Now PD dot. So this is a command to create a data frame. Now in order to create a data frame, what I will do is I will use TS. Okay, so how I will use TS is I'll create a small dictionary inside and give timestamp or tstamp as the key, and the values will be my TS which we created above. So if I create like this, then the data frame will be created. Now instead of now printing, so okay, now here I will say print MDF. So instead of printing the time series, now of course I'm doing both to compare, and also MDF dot shape. This also I will print. So now you can see, if you go to the top, the first one is date time index. This is a series, whereas this next one, this is a data frame. Okay, so timestamp is there, starts at 0 minutes and ends at 23:59, and it has 0 to 1439. That means entirely 1440 rows it has. So now I have an empty data frame with only timestamps. Now I want to do resampling. So how to do resampling? And whenever I do a resampling of the column, the output will also have a length of 1440 that I can assign to the variable. So let me, I'll just pause a while, I'll get the command to do that. Okay. So the command to do the resampling is something like this. Again, bear with me for a minute. I'll paste it here. In fact, this also I will, now we don't need this. I will comment out on this. So I'm saying D1. Okay. So this our DF is the raw data that we are reading. So from the DF, I am filtering out the whatever meter I'm interested in, M. Okay. So I think we gave a variable, right? Meters to plot. Okay. So as we did earlier, we have to run a what do you call this, for loop. Again, if you see the previous videos, you will know what I'm doing here clearly. So I paste this for loop. Then this three lines I will push inside the for loop. So for simplicity, I will say M. For M in meters to plot. Okay, so our meters to plot is only 7, so it will take 7 now. So meter ID equal to 7. That means it will filter out all those things from the raw data, and then it will take the parameters. That is, okay, I don't want all these parameters. I want the entire. I want to get the entire columns, all columns. Now, oh, I think for resampling I need, so just say undo. So I'm only getting the timestamp and the PT, that is the total power. Okay, so only this I want to resample. So then D2 is another data frame after resampling. Now for resampling, I will use 1 minute. 1T means 1 minute on timestamp. So on this timestamp, I'm resampling and then I'm going for mean. So then I'll get the resample of this. And then finally, I will convert to list and then I will get the P. Okay, so let me now say print P and print length of P. I hope this is a correct syntax. So what I have done is I have taken the data and then I'm just doing the resampling like this. So let's see if it works. Okay, I think there is some issue. Let me figure it out. Okay, so I got the problem. So if we had run last time, the error message was uh, date time index or time delta index or period index is needed. Okay, so that is for doing the resampling. So the error was in line 21. Okay, so here in line 21, the error is that this particular T stamp is only a simple index. Okay, it is not a formatted as a date stamp. So for that, I have to simply add these two lines here. Okay. So again, just I will explain. Line 13, 14 I have added. So just go from the top. We are importing the libraries in line 1 and 2. We are setting which meters we want to plot and then which date to plot and then what are the columns in the database, columns in the raw data. So these are fairly simple. Then line number 11, we are loading the CSV into a data frame. Then we are setting these columns. Then this is a new line where the timestamp is converted. Okay, so what is our regular timestamp? So if I look at the raw data, the timestamp looks like this. So 2021 10 01, then hours, minutes, and seconds. Okay, so that format I have to mention here. So capital Y means it will take the four digit year and then M and D and then hours, minutes, and seconds. If I specify the format like this, then the entire timestamp, which used to be a simple string, is now converted into data frame. It's now converted into a date time. See, I can just say bf dot, or I mean, let's leave it like this. Then set index. We are setting that as index. By adding these two lines, now the timestamp index is there. Now, based on timestamp, I can do a resampling. So this resample will now work. After resampling, now I will get what is the length of P. Okay, so let me now show this. So now I'll execute the command. Did you not save the file? I think we have to save this file. So now we are getting the data here. Okay, so the earlier how many are there? So if you look at the last line, printing the length of P. Okay, so as a simple list we are getting. So the length of P you can see here 1440. So the 1430 has become 1440. Okay. So if you closely notice, so here you can see one NaN, not a number. Okay. So this particular minute data was missing. Okay. So for that missing data, it has inserted the resampling program has inserted a NaN. Okay. So like this, there is one more NaN here which I can see and so on like this. So at 10 places out of the 1440, this NaN has been now inserted. Now we can actually merge this into our MDF. Okay, so what was our MDF? It was a database. Sorry, the empty data frame as I explained before. So if I go up, so here you can see this is my meter data frame. So it starts from 0 to 59, and it has exactly 1440 rows. Now I can add this. Okay, so what I can do after doing all this calculation, I have got the P. Okay, the P means the data. So now MDF. Now I want to add a new column to MDF. Okay, so here the new column will have a particular like the meter number, right? So here I will say meter or I say M, then plus STR of M plus PT. Because the active power PT of that particular meter, I am loading into MDF. Okay? So is equal to P. Okay? So the P is just a temporary variable which I am. See, in order to convert into this, you need to convert to list. So all these things is needed. So now it is like this. Now I can print, instead of printing MDF there, I can now print the MDF here. So I have removed the printing statement of the P. So now we have a beautiful timestamp here, and then meter 7 PT I am having here. Now since I am doing it in a for loop, so I'll be able to get other meters also. So I'll show you how to do that. So here, now if I add 7 comma 10 comma 12. So 3 meters are there. So 3 times this for loop will be running, and 3 times I will be doing resampling and getting a new column and then adding the new column to the MDF. Okay. So that is the reason we went into the trouble to do that. I'm expecting as long as the resampling happens properly. Okay, so there is some problem here. 1439. Okay, so this sometimes this resampling is giving only 1439 rows. So that is the problem. So I'll just clear that. If b2 dot shape and of 1, sorry, 0, the first element is equal to 1439. I just need to add this. Then, in fact, I can add it to the P. The problem comes when the column lengths are not matching. If len of P equal to 1439, P dot append equal to P of minus 1. That means the last item I will repeat. So then it will be, this problem will be solved. So I noticed, I mean, this is just a practical problem, so it's a very ugly patch for it. List object attribute append is read only. So again, let me figure it out. Yeah. So here it should not be assignment. It should be like this. So what I'm doing, in case the length is coming less, I'm adding, repeating the last element just to make it equal length. Okay. So now I have, you can see the data frame which I prepared. It is having a timestamp of 1440 records. Then it is having a meter 7 data, then meter 10 data, and meter 12 data. So all 3 meters active power I am able to capture in a single data frame. Okay, so this is a again refer to the objective which I mentioned at the beginning. Our objective is to get the active power of 7, active power of 10, and active power of 12 all together in a single data frame. Okay, so now we achieved that. We could not achieve that before because the lengths were different. I'll show you that again. So just to refresh your memory, see, I'm saying print b1 dot shape. So m comma. See here, you see there were 1430 rows in meter 7, there were 1438 rows in meter 10, and 1435 rows in meter 12. So, despite of them having missing data, now we are able to show them in the same plot. So, by the way, how do we find missing data? Now I can find missing data. So, I can simply say, for example, printer MBF. Now here the condition I will give M7PT double equal to, I think is null. So is null. If there's a null value, it will be there. And again MDF. Let me just balance the variables. Hopefully this will print the null values of meter 7 column. Let's see. Yes. So now you can see here the now I can identify which are the 10 minutes where the data was missing from M M7PT. Okay. So the power of M7 was missing at 1721, 1733 like this. So these are the times. So this might be because out of the entire 1440 hours, at this particular minutes the meter might not have responded. The sensor might have failed. So it did not respond. It creates a empty data set there. Meanwhile, M10 has responded at the time. Okay, so now if I repeat the same thing, and so basically this is just to find the missing data of different columns. Now you see for meter 10, only one it is showing here, and for meter 12, it is showing five places. So different times. Okay, but anyway, so let's not worry about this. Now that we have addressed it, and see the main objective was to achieve this data frame. Okay, so I'll show you the data frame. A common data frame with all three columns. So now I will create a virtual meter now. Okay, so this is what we are interested. Now I'll create a virtual meter. Okay, adding M7, M10, and M12. So that is 7, 10, and 12. So I'll do that. So the for loop is over. MDF, and I'll create a demand. Demand PT, the total power of the demand, is equal to, I will add three columns. MDF, add the meter 7 power, plus adding the meter 10 power, plus adding the meter 12 power. So I am adding three columns to make a fourth column. Okay, so now you see what is the, there were four columns only, one timestamp and three this thing. So now you see what happens. So now I'm getting five columns, and the total demand is here. Okay, so 44, 43. So it's actually 11.3 plus 13.05 plus 20. It will go to 44. So I'm now getting the total demand curve. Okay. So instead of calling total active demand, so this will be in kilowatts. Now I want to repeat the whole exercise for apparent power also. Okay, so how do I do that? In fact, let me just go back and plot this function. See, there are two ways I can plot. Okay, so before I want to get the demand curve, for example, not just the total demand as a calculation, but I want to plot it as a curve. Okay, so remember, our objective is to plot. Anyway, I think the plotting part I will address it in the next video because the video is getting too long. So let's meet in the next video. I will show you how to plot the total demand curve.